Hello everybody, I'm Yvette of DIY Uniquely Yvette. Welcome to the channel or welcome back. This week I'm challenging myself to see if I can make my project from all of this scrap wood. I know you're probably thinking, you always make stuff out of scrap wood. I know, but this project is going to take a lot more of it. I'm going to see if I can do it. So that's why I consider myself challenging myself. This is my scrap wood collection. Some here, and I think I have some long pieces on the other side of the shop. This project is going to take a lot of wood. I'm really excited about it. I'm taking my winging it to the next level. Stay tuned to see what I come up with. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification so you know when I do the next project. And comment below. Let me know what you think about it. Let's get into it. This is going to be our soldier's face. It will also be, or another piece the same size, I think, will be his helmet. So what I have here is, I have a line drawn here 8 inches this way. The height of the face will be 8 inches, and then across the bottom will be a curved part, which is going to be 9 inches. So that means the two side lines curve outward. And for the helmet, it would be the opposite, or upside down, the same measurements. But I'm thinking actually of making the helmet a little bit taller, maybe 1 inch taller than the face. So this is the face. Now I'm going to cut it on the scroll saw. My understanding is my blade will work with 2-inch wood, but when I've tried it in the past, I don't know if I rushed it or what I did, but it ended up breaking the blade. So I'm going to try to take my time with that. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to go ahead and get a jigsaw, which should work better. I'm not sure you can see this, but I glued together 4 2x4s together so that I had a big enough piece of for his torso. So and this is about 19.5 inches long, and the width is about a little over 13 inches wide, but I'm going to cut it in. I put a line down the middle, and now I'm going to curve inward from the bottom, curve inward from the top, so that his waist is about 9.5 inches wide. So his shoulders and his hips are equal distance wide. I allowed for about a flat space here for 2 inches on the sides of his waist. Because it's so huge, I am not going to show myself cutting it, but just know that it's like an hourglass. It's like an hourglass shape. As you can see, we have the torso cut out, and these are the arms, and they are 18 inches long by 3 inches wide. I wasn't sure how I could attach the arms to the torso because of this shape of the torso, this curving in, and this leaves a gap here. So I decided to take this 2x3 and put it up here, and I'm going to cut it off so that I can either run screws in the tops of this 2x3 into the arms and into the torso, or go from the back and do pocket hole screws to attach everything together. I also have 2 legs cut out here, and these legs are let's see how long these are. These legs are 30 inches long. I think they're a little long. They're a little long, but I'm not sure. I think I need it more like 28 inches, but we'll see. And I have 2 of his shoes or feet. I have 2 of these feet, and they are 8.5 inches long. I just guessed. I didn't know how big his feet should be. I mean, he's going to be pretty tall, so maybe his feet will look like little baby feet. I don't know. Cut this shape actually using these, then I kind of snipped it off till it's flat, and that's going to be the hands. What I did with this collar is I kind of indented it a bit so that I could sit the face into it like this. I didn't do a good job. There's like this big gap over here, but it's going to be what it's going to be. And I curved off the edges a little bit. Didn't do that perfectly. So what I'm doing now is filling in actually holes, because this is seriously reused wood. There are a ton of holes where I had, you know, used screws in it. I'm just filling in the holes. I'm not going to try to fill in all the gaps that show that I glued different pieces together. I'm just not going to do that because, I mean, it's a scrap wood project. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I do want to improve on the fact that there are a million holes in here. But I am going to fill in those holes with this dry deck spackling. And when it's dry, it goes on pink and it dries white. So when it's white, I'm going to sand it smooth. I did sand a little bit. I'm going to sand with a 120 grit. I started out with a, I don't know, 60 or 80 grit or something like that. I'm going to be using pocket screws to attach the legs to the torso. By the way, I did sell my witch that I made a couple weeks ago to someone who thought she was, quote, stinking cute. Okay. And I kind of gave it to her for a steal, but, you know, her excitement really excited me, so I'm glad to have done it. Here is our progress so far. I have no idea why the top of the legs have a gap and the feet are close together. I don't care. I actually like it. I decided I'm going to cut this arm right here so that I could fold his arm and make it like this. So it's going to be like this. So now I'm going to attach the collar. Head will sit on here like this. And I've decided actually that I might fill in these gaps where it's not working out so well. Look at the mess that is his face. I had such a hard time trying to glue this down. The back has such gaps that the head wouldn't sit straight in here. Well, I didn't try really hard to turn it over and do these pocket holes from the back because of the arm that's bent. If only I'd realized that I needed to turn it over and be flat before I did this arm. But that's okay because I'm going to putty in all of these holes so it looks like, hopefully, fingers crossed, that they were never there. The biggest issue I have is filling in these places that are gapped in the front and the back. I kind of want to do the back because it is really, really gapped and I just don't like it. So I know it's ugly now, but I think it's going to really be better once I putty everything. I'm going to simply glue the hands in place. Nothing fancy, no screws. I made this little beard with a template I made, and it's a beard and mustache. And I also made this piece, which is just it's angled on the sides, it's curved over the top, and it will go on his helmet, like right here, just to give more of a soldier look. And what I'm about to do now is take this piece of wood and put it across his waist because I'm going to cut it off like a belt. I got a long thin stick like this that I had cut off from something, I don't know. I cut off 4 pieces. The 2 longer pieces are 2 1/4 inches long. The shorter pieces are 1.5 inches long. And so all I'm going to do is glue up the pieces together, short across from each other, long across from each other like that. And that'll be the buckle. And I'm just going to hot glue them into place like this. I'm going to put a decorative piece on the base of his hat. So I'm going to cut out these triangles on this. So I decided to paint this turquoise blue. I've marked a line here with pencil, and this is going to be the top of the boots. So I'm just going to paint the boots black. Under this tape, and this one is going to be white. In the middle here is going to be the same turquoise color as the rest of his uniform and helmet. Now that this white and blue stripe is finished, I'm going to put vertical stripes down the soldier's legs, but instead of blue and white, I'm going to do blue and black. I mixed together some antique parchment from Apple Barrel and a little bit of dark brown from Folk Art. So I mixed those two together to make this sort of like pale chocolate milk look. And I'm going to do his face with this color. I didn't pay enough attention when I was making this beard and mustache. It should be bigger and fill up more of his face, but we're stuck with this tiny one. So, and the funny thing is I just noticed just now that it was way too small. But anyway, I'm just going to use some hot glue and some E6000 to attach his beard and mustache. There we go. I made him a nose, as you can see here, and I cut off the thickness of it a little bit so that it doesn't stick as high as the beard, only because it just felt weird. It probably wasn't weird, but that's what I did. Anyway, I'm going to paint it the same color as his face, but after that I'm going to add a little bit of the paint from his cheeks, so it looks like he's been standing on duty, you know, for a while, and his nose is getting a little red. I wanted to use pipe cleaners for his hair, but I wanted to use white on spray paint on the pipe cleaner, but I don't have any more white spray paint, so I'm forced to use this metallic silver one. I mean, it matches, you know, but it doesn't really match his beard, so it is what it is. And I'm going to curl it up like this one here. I'm not going to use this one because I tried to use regular white paint on it, acrylic paint, and it looks a little mangy. So I'm going to spray on the metallic paint, and once it's dry I'll curl it up. Let's try it. See, like this maybe. I'm only giving him 3 hairs. That's funny. That is hilarious. He's only getting 3 hairs. I probably should have put it in the middle, but that's alright. I think I'm going to put the other one in the front. That actually doesn't look too bad. Like I said, I would prefer it to have been white, but that's not bad. I put the 2 dots on his belt. Painted this shield right here in his chest. I put little accents of silver on his shoulders. And I put the silver places down here on his boots. Oh, and this line of silver under his belt. I made this snowflake, or I printed out, cut it out. I made it from my Cricut machine. So this is vinyl. And I'm just going to place it about the middle of his hat. Well, nothing is really in the middle. Not this top, not that. So I'll just put it wherever. Let's see if we can get it on. And there we go. I found this round piece from a previous project, and what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to cut off a piece of this dowel and use it to connect this dowel to this round piece. So I'm going to try to put like the dowel on the inside of a hole. I'm going to drill a hole in here and glue it in. The piece that's sticking out, I'm going to drill a hole in this dowel and connect them like that. Okay, I've done it. Well, first of all, I'll put a piece of tape so that I can determine how deep I wanted to go with the dowel. It's a little tight fit. Here's the hole in this piece. It's really easy to make the hole in this. Not so easy to make the hole in here. As you can see, it's off-centered. Let me make sure. So let's see if it'll come together. I'm putting some more glue on the inside, and we're going to put it on there. Or I estimated the middle and just did curvy lines so I could make the blue and white peppermint type thing. It's not perfect. I could have put a template on it, but I just decided to freehand it. I built a small platform for the soldier. The measurements are 18 by 10.5 or so. And he's going to go this way on it so that basically he would be facing forward this long way. I guess I was kind of too lazy to just do a perfect square. So first I'm going to paint this whole thing with the turquoise color we've been using so far, and I'm going to add some black to it just around the edges. I'm going to add some black, some alternate spaces of black. This space is 18 inches long, so I'm going to put a line every 4.5 inches so that I can do panels of alternate colors, meaning I'll put a black here, it'll be blue here, it'll be black here, and blue here. So there we are, it's completed. I'm not going to sweat the fact that you could see a little bit of the black on top. It's not a big deal. So what I have here is alternating black and blue all the way around. On the ends, on the short ends, it's each section is 3.5 inches. On the long side, each section is 4.5 inches. And that's the base. So now I'm going to attach the soldier to this base. I'm going to go in from the bottom and drive screws up into his feet as he sits on here. That sounds terrible. That sounds like torture. I'm just going to attach him. So here is the staff he's going to hold. It's all done. I finished the painting here. I spray painted the handle silver because it was easier to spray paint than to paint by brush, and I had silver paint, spray paint, so that worked out great. I like it. Actually turned out wonderful. Now I have to move on to drilling through his hand so I can place this in his hand so he can be holding it. Okay, I have this hole making bit. It's a 5/8 inch. It's about the same diameter as the dowel. Going into his hand will allow him to allow the dowel to go through here, I hope. I also strapped this piece of wood to the arm because, for one thing, the hand is just attached to the arm by just glue. The arm is attached with screws, but I just wanted to give a little extra support with this wood underneath. This also, having wood under here, helps with the tear out when this blade goes through. I want to go in at an angle like this, and so that I can put the stick in at a slight angle. And there it is. All I did was gently ease it in, and it went in just fine. And because it's on an angle, it doesn't easily just go all the way through or fall through. The whole project is done, and we can move on to the final results.